Hello and welcome to the August 8th iJugs Extravaganza, literally the best show in the universe. And they say, dress for the job you want. I don't think clothes really make the man. I think the spirit does. What energy are you radiating out? And, that's what I want to talk about today. Um, I was talking with someone online, just random person I was chatting with, and they identified as a hippie, and um, I look at me like I'm also a hippie, but we didn't see eye to eye. She immediately started like attacking me and like saying that I was this type of hippie and she was this type, and it's like why do you categorize? Why do you do that? And I responded, nonviolent communication. What else can you do? And the conversation just kept in that same form, like just be open and you know attacking from the other side, and I don't know. It eventually led to a place where um, she opened up and started talking about things that were going on with her and why she saw things the way she was, and you know I just was a supporting voice. And again, what else can you do? We had to radiate that energy to people, because if you just start attacking you, if you carry hate in your heart, you're not standing on firm ground. You have to build your house on a rock. And um just hate perpetuates hate. And um in that same sense, what you carry inside you radiates outward. I guess I wanted to address a little bit about my channel and what my goals are. I made an intro video just like off the cuff a little while ago, and I God sent me this message of you had to have like a specialized channel, or like you um, had to create like specific content. Like my original goal was like not to do that, to like just radiate everything I have, because I'm so multifaceted. Um, uh, Schizophrenic, juggling, rapping, Jesus, learning Norwegian, Hebrew, understands, uh, the esoteric. Like there's a lot of directions I can take this channel, and like when they, the big they first like nudged me that way, I was like, God, you can't tell me to be my authentic self and then say, nope, gotta censor that shit. uh, but then like I started like doing my own research, meaning like I just refreshed the front page of Reddit, my Facebook, social media feeds, gave me very specific information, and uh, then I got the hints to like I'd be more likely to win like the Powerball lottery than if I try to go about that way. So I want to like really specialize my channel towards like the same thing I said. Helping people achieve their highest self. That bottom line, that's what I want to do. If I'm going to be broadcasting, I want a specific effect, and that effect is help people come into their full power, their full potential. Because that's something I needed when I was in like the lowest pits that I was in. Um, yeah, and there's some things that are with that. There's one, you have to be this voice of positivity. You have to inspire and bring up people. It's what juggling and rapping and all that was has a purpose of to show, hey, you if you follow this path, this is something that can happen. Be true to yourself. Always just try. Like that's all you can do. Like never have a 0 day. You can't you can't give in to the darkness. because uh, it just doesn't work that way. The entire you know purpose of life is to defy entropy. If you give in and let and succumb to that, you're not gonna you know find any sort of happiness, because that's at the core of the human experience, is to fight against the darkness, the entropy, the whatever's monsters out there or in here or whatever. You have to be vigilant, and I want to be that beacon of light for people. So that's one thing. Another thing, education. With building off that, educating how you can improve, how you can help yourself, how you can come into your power with talking about things like philosophy, psychology, delving into the esoteric, the alchemy, things like that. Um, just self-help tools, breathing, meditation, mindfulness, things, uh, CBT, is it like cognitive behavioral therapy? All the tools that are in that. Yeah, going through like the mental health system, you pick up a lot of that stuff if you're trying to get better. If you go through the mental health system and you're resistant, you'll get nothing out of it. You'll just be wasting your time. Um, and then that's stuff that anyone can use. That's why it's used there, because it's helpful. Um, Building on that, third point, you know, along with educating people of how to build themselves up, I had to educate, to build an awareness of how people are actively trying to tear you down. We live in a system of forces, and some of them help us, some of them tear us down. There are some. How do I say this? The world is ruled by reptile people. Totally. Those cold-blooded people who have forked tongues. Get what I'm saying? The sociopaths at the top of the pyramid. Those people. I sure fucking, oh yeah, part of Illuminati. Like you had to joke. Like, you can't again give into that negativity. uh, like even like just laughing now. I just came on here. I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna kind of pump myself up. I'm gonna try to be funny because I was depressed this morning, and just starting this, I already feel a lot better. Again, something I could help radiate out. But again, the systemic forces, the bad guys, the man, all those white men. It's just like that. The woman I was chatting with, like she said, like the typical like line that comes with modern liberalism, modern feminism. Again, I'm not like trying to label or say anything negative. Like it's a trope that's part of it. And the whole like patriarchy thing, um, like that's just a way to divide us. Like that's just playing into their hand. It's not. You're not doing anything good toting those lines. It feels like you feel like you're doing something because you're fighting something that you can point at and that's not you, and that's how they get you. It, it's divide and conquer. I mean, like the whole like left and right paradigm. You cannot get more controlling than that. Just divide and conquer into these two very easy to manipulate, opinion groups. It like just look at the world today. Just look at modern culture, modern media. It's full of hate, and that's deliberate. That's to that's just bait. It's to hook your like ego. Play off your personal either insecurities or attachments or anything like that. And it's to emotionally manipulate you so that you don't think critically and you're just acting on emotion, pointing fingers and perpetuating that hate inside, right? You can't like, if someone is ruled by hate, like if someone is either side of the equation, if someone is just foaming at the mouth because of Trump, or if they're a Trump supporter and foaming at the mouth because Obama or whatever, you can't even have a conversation with them. It's not possible by the logic of the brain. The ego defense mechanism literally shuts down your ability to reason. Like once your hypothalamus starts firing, the blood literally rushes away from your forebrain, and because when you're it goes to like your muscles and your heart and like things like that, because when you're emotionally like ready to fight, that flight or fight response, you need the muscle and all that ready to fight off the saber-tooth tiger, whatever you know threats early humans had to fight. And it's deliberately crafted social engineering. People think, oh, there's nothing. I've had conversations with people that I, I presented the best evidence I had, the best arguments I had, that there's people manipulating the culture, manipulating society, manipulating the media, the news, all that, and it just wouldn't hear any of it. There's immediate conspiracy theorists. That doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense to think that no one is trying to use these things for their own advantage. We live in a post-Hitler, post-nuclear world. No one with an iota of power, anyone that has actual power, is not playing Russian roulette. Just makes no sense for someone to have billions of dollars, or have a be in the right position, or any form of power that's out there. It does not make sense that they have this and they won't use it to secure it, right? uh, Hitler, how did I have this joke, Jesus, Hitler, Alex Jones, same person. uh, a charismatic person that attracts the extreme or people of society and get them to buy their bullshit. Not necessarily like Jesus, like actual Jesus. I'm talking more like the Flavian dynasty messiahs. I'm talking about that. The Flavian dynasty, they were a group of rulers from like 69 to like 90 AD. There was an uprising in Jerusalem, and um, there's a messianic uprising in Jerusalem. A very charismatic person, rallied like all the people, and we're starting to, really revolt. Flavians were not having that shit. They completely surrounded Jerusalem, tore the temple to the ground. Not one brick was allowed to stand on top of another. That was like the order they gave. And they're pretty serious about stamping out resistance. But in the years that followed, there was messianic uprisings all over the place, even in Rome itself. Not much resistance from the Flavians, though. Hmm. Hmm. Like that's what we're seeing today. Like if you're part of a political movement that has any traction whatsoever, it's deliberately crafted. If you're part of a political movement or like any movement that is small, it's you are very watched very closely. um Going back to Hitler, he wrote a few books, stood in front of a camera, very charismatic, used to practice in front of the mirror all his like hand movements and stuff. Like um it, billions, if not trillions of dollars had to have been just tossed into understanding the social psychology that allowed, someone like that to rise to power, and then, implement, systems of control to prevent that in our own, little system. Thinking like Hollywood, that's a thing that's more than a place. It's a thing that creates and transmits information to literally billions of people on the planet. It's something really central to our global nodal defense system. It's, anyone with enough, intelligence would be able to flex their agency and, use it to brainwash the world in however they wanted. You know what I'm saying there? um, hmm, like that's like being like self-aware. You can't not see like how that's done in the modern world. Like you can't not watch movies today and not see the propaganda. Like see how, there's putting little pieces of information to like influence, people's behavior, way of thinking, to like, both pacify and, distract people. um, it's so obvious at this point. Like in 2018, we're on a powder keg. They are doing everything they can to keep the people in the sedated state. It just that's what we're in. We're in a sedated state. After World War II, when we were just sprinting straight towards World War III, people we got put in the state where everyone started getting addicted to screens. It was very heavily pushed, that whole television thing. And what is television? Something you watch and hear. Marshall McLuhan, the media is the message. You get everybody listening to the 6 o'clock news every night. You're gonna start getting people thinking the exact same way, thereby making them very predictable, very just conditioning them to think certain ways and thereby act certain ways. Just using that to Trump. Like if you're getting mad by Trump, you were asleep. I can understand being mad. I can understand like the anger of the modern world, but it it was so obvious. It's not fucking Russia doing this fake news shit. It's America doing this fake news shit to skew the population and make us unable to see eye to eye. Like that's what Trump is. It's made to rally, like it's pure emotional manipulation. It's reality TV. It's scripted for the effect it's gonna have on people. Like all the shit that people get mad at Trump about, valid points. However, it's it's not actual real. It's designed to make you mad and make you unable to, think straight and like come together as a cooperative, unified force as a country. And I make videos like all the time around like 18 minutes. Like I'm just spent. I don't know. That's what I just want people to love. And that's my goal. Because like that's the force that brought us here, like as a universe. Love, light. It's this defy entropy, force, anti-entropy, and it does that by coming together. Yeah, there's this basic pattern of the universe where each epoch of novelty has a general form. Like we see atoms, they have a dense center with electron cloud around it. We see cells, it has a dense informational nucleus with organelles around it. We see human body, we have this dense informational structure or central nervous system with the body around it. We see society, it has primarily has been city states and nation states for the longest time. This dense population with less dense around it. Like we will prosper way more and be able to make real change, not playing into their fucking hands. Join the revolution. No, like make real change. um, yeah, like just stop hate, just love. You can't be manipulated if you're acting from a place of love. And you will have the greatest tangible effect on the world if you're loving, because then you will be able to help everyone. Yeah, there, like if a parent comes home and sees their kid drawing on the wall, and they like really get mad and like angry and call them like all these names and stuff, the kid's going to keep doing that behavior out of spite. And not consciously, but like that's what will happen. They'll be upset about being called these things, and it'll be a way to lash out and let these emotions out. If the parent instead takes a knee next to him, starts talking to him compassionately, and tells him like big boys don't do that. You want to be a big boy, right? Like that's like how you bring real change to people, right? If um someone is doing something is wrong or anything, if you know it, if you see someone on the other side of the political fence, whatever, and they're doing something that makes you like angry, don't give in to that anger. Do stuff like breathing, things like that. Bring it back to the center and help them. You'll be able to see why they think these things, and you'll be able to understand their whole mental landscape much better. And in doing so, you'll be able to help them more and bring them towards the light. You know, I think we're all fallible, and that but we might be fallible, but we all have truth about the world. Like as we grow through life, we all accumulate this knowledge, and that's what we want to help cultivate for other people. You're not gonna teach someone pointing fingers, getting mad, calling them names, screaming. Like I see videos of this, like people at rallies, things going, just letting complete emotions control them. It's not doing any good. If anything, it's causing the opposite effect they want. Um, I guess, yeah. Inspire, educate, protect. I don't know. There's three things I want to do. Um, inspire, educate, um, grow. I guess that's what I want my channel to be: to inspire, educate, and grow everyone, regardless of who they are, where they've come from, what they currently believe. I love everyone. That's what I want everyone to do, because it doesn't matter what has happened in the past, our history. If we just come into that love, which is always present, we just deny it because we give into our banal emotions. We give into fear and hate and these things. If we can just come into our true power at our core, our heart. We can manifest heaven on earth, a true paradise, in an instant. Because like I said, it doesn't matter, what's happened. It doesn't matter the current, objective state of the world. Like, we can bring about the change from within. And once we begin doing that, everything radically changes. We it doesn't matter if we live in a post, like if it's Fallout universe, it doesn't matter that the world's dead and decaying. If we come together, we can find that happiness and togetherness and goodness, and that's light. That's what has defied darkness for billions of years. And if we can just create that light, we create paradise. That's it for today.